Holiday Inn is a chain of hotels. The company was founded on August 1st, 1952 in Memphis, Tennessee, U.S. by Kemmons Wilson, and to this very day the company is still alive and healthy. So, how did it become so popular? Let's find out. 1950s to 1970s. Kemmons Wilson, a resident of Memphis, Tennessee, was inspired to build a motel after being disappointed by the poor quality of roadside accommodations during a family road trip to Washington, D.C. During the construction, the name Holiday Inn was coined by Wilson's architect Eddie Bluestein as a joking reference to the 1942 musical film Holiday Inn. Their first hotel/motel opened in August 1952 as Holiday Inn Hotel Courts at 4941 Summer Avenue in Memphis, then the main highway, US Highway 64 7079, to Nashville. It was demolished in 1994. Wilson partnered with Wallace E. Johnson to build additional motels on the roads entering Memphis. In 1953, 3 more Holiday Inns were built on US 51 South, Highway 51 North, and US 61. By 1957, there were 30 Holiday Inns, and Wilson began marketing the chains as Holiday Inn of America. There were 50 locations across the U.S. by 1958, 100 by 1959, 500 by 1964, and 1,000 in 1968. A number of early locations were franchised, some by the Albert Pick Corporation of Chicago, because the number of Albert Pick franchises were recommending customers to other Albert Pick hotels instead of Holiday Inn. The Holiday Inn Corporation enacted a rule that franchisees could not own locations of another hotel as well as Holiday Inn. This led to the Albert Pick franchised locations exiting the brand by the end of the 1950s. The rule on franchising remained until 1973 when a franchisee was denied the rights to build a location in Newark, New Jersey because of this rule. The United States District Court thus declared the rule a violation of a United States anti-monopoly law. In 1965, the chain launched Holidex, a centralized reservation system where a visitor to any Holiday Inn could obtain reservations by teleprinter for any other Holiday Inn location, promoting itself as your host from coast to coast. Holiday Inn added a call center after AT&T's introduction of 800 toll-free telephone number service in 1967. Holiday Inn opened their first campground travel park in Angelo, Indiana in 1970. The nation's innkeeper, the chain put considerable financial pressure on traditional motels and hotels, setting standard for competitors like Ramada Inn, Quality Inn, Howard Johnson's, and Best Western. By June 1972, with over 1,400 Holiday Inns worldwide, Wilson was featured on the cover of Time magazine, and the franchise's motto became the world's innkeeper. In 1963, Holiday Inn signed a long-term deal with Gulf Oil, where it agreed to accept Gulf credit cards to charge food and lodging at all of its American and Canadian hotels, in return for the Gulf building service stations on many Holiday Inn properties, particularly near major U.S. and interstate highways. The arrangement was copied by competing lodging chains and major oil companies during the mid to late 1960s, but fell out of favor following the 1973 oil crisis. The Gulf/Holiday Inn arrangement ended around 1982. In 1969, Holiday Inns acquired TCO Industries, the holding company for what is now Trailways Transportation System, and the ocean liner and cargo shipping company Delta Shipping. In 1971, the company constructed the Holiday Inn University and Conference Center, a teaching hotel for training new employees, in Olive Branch, Mississippi. In 1973, the company built the Olive Branch Airport north of the university as a home base for its corporate aircraft. In 1979, the company sold Trailway Transportation System. In 1982, the company sold Delta Shipping to Crowley Maritime Corporation, which was a San Francisco-based tug and barge operator at that time. The company later branched into other enterprises including MediCenter Nursing Homes, Delta Queen, and Showbiz Incorporated, a television production company that specialized in syndicated country music shows. Wilson also developed the Orange Lake Resort and Country Club near Orlando and a chain called Wilson World Hotels. As of 2014, Wilson's family still operates hotels as part of the Kemmons Wilson Companies of Memphis. The Great Sign. The Great Sign was the roadside sign used by Holiday Inn during its original era of expansion from the 1950s to 1970s. It was perhaps the company's most successful form of advertising. It was extremely large and eye-catching, but was expensive to construct and maintain. The manufacturer of the sign was Belton and Sons Sign Company, and it was originally designed by sketch artist Gene Barber and Ronald Alexander. Wilson wanted a prominent sign at least 50 feet, 15 meters high, and visible from both directions. He also wanted a changeable marquee to welcome different groups. The original sign cost $13,000. It is said that the sign's colors were selected because they were favorites of Wilson's mother. In 1982, following Wilson's departure, the Holiday Inn Board of Directors phased out the Great Sign in favor for a cheaper backlit sign. Wilson considered it the worst mistake they ever made. He loved the Great Sign so much that it was engraved on his tombstone with the marquee reading "Founder" and the arrow aimed at his name. The majority of the signs were scrapped, but working examples are owned by the American Sign Museum in Cincinnati, Ohio, the Henry Ford Museum in Dearborn, Michigan, and a private collector in Park Hills, Kentucky. 1980s to 1990s. Although still a healthy company, changing business conditions and demographics saw Holiday Inn lose its market dominance in the 1980s. Holiday Inns Incorporated was renamed Holiday Corporation in 1985 to reflect the growth of the company's brands, including Harrah's Entertainment, Embassy Suites, Hotels, Crown Plaza, Homewood Suites, and Hampton Inn. In 1988, Holiday Corporation was purchased by UK-based Bass plc, which were then owners of the Bass beer brand, followed by the remaining domestic Holiday Inn hotels in 1990, when founder Wilson sold his interest, after which the hotel group was known as Holiday Inn Worldwide. The remainder of Holiday Corporation, including the Embassy Suites Hotels, Homewood Suites, and Hampton Inn brands, was spun off to shareholders as Promise Companies Incorporated in 1990. Bass launched Holiday Inn Express, a complementary brand in the limited service segment. In 1997, Bass curated and launched a new hotel brand, Staybridge Suites by Holiday Inn, entering the North American upscale extended stay market. In March 1998, Bass acquired the Intercontinental brand, expanding into the luxury hotel market. In 2000, Bass sold its brewing assets and the rights to the Bass name and changed its name to Six Continents plc. Intercontinental Hotels Group, IHG, was curated in 2003 after Six Continents split into two daughter companies, Mitchells and Butlers plc to handle restaurants assets, and IHG to focus on soft drinks and hotels, including the Holiday Inn brand. The brand name Holiday Inn is now owned by IHG, which in turn licenses the name to franchisees and third parties who operate hotels under management agreements. In 1999, the hotel that changed into Nickelodeon Suites Resort Orlando in 2005 opened, called Holiday Inn. Development since 2000. The Wall Street Journal reported in 2002 that the company, led by Ravi Telegram, was producing a new 130-room next-generation prototype hotel to rebuild the brand. It would include a bistro-like restaurant and an indoor pool. The first of these prototype hotels, the Holiday Inn Gwinnett Center, was built in Duluth, Georgia in 2003. In 2008, Mitchells and Butlers sold off 21 Holiday Inn hotels in exchange for 44 standalone pubs to Whitbread. In September 2008, IHG announced the creation of a new timeshare brand, Holiday Inn Club Vacations, a strategic alliance with the family of Orange Lake Resorts. On October 24, 2007, IHG announced a worldwide relaunch of the Holiday Inn brand, which spelled trouble for the remaining motels. The relaunch was focused on delivering consistently best in-class service and physical quality levels, including a redesigned welcome experience and signature bedding and bathroom products. The first relaunched Holiday Inn opened in the U.S. in spring 2008. Currently, there are more than 2,500 relaunched Holiday brand hotels around the world, and the Holiday Inn global brand relaunch process was completed by the end of 2010. By then, the majority of the HI motels were removed from the chain, and with a few exceptions. In the 1980s and 1990s, HI hotels were built alongside the motel properties, for example, Baton Rouge, Louisiana, in order to provide more amenities and newer rooms. When the relaunch occurred, these motels were either demolished or closed off, even if a full-service hotel was already on site. Today, fewer than 10 original Holiday Inn hotels still operate, others having been replaced by newer Holiday Inn Express locations or having switched to other chains. In August 2012, the chain celebrated its 60th anniversary. In 2024, IHG announced a vast expansion of Holiday Inn and Holiday Inn Express brands in Germany as part of a franchise and cooperation agreement with German hotel operator Novum Hospitality, which in turn will rebrand the majority of their currently over 100 properties into Holiday Inn, including a newly curated sub-brand named Holiday Inn the NIU. And there's the history of Holiday Inn. How did it become so popular? Well, I think with all those mergers that they did throughout the time that they were in business, which they still are in business, I think that's how they became very popular, because when they started branding with all these big brand names, that's how they became very popular, and these companies even owned like multiple other businesses as well, which basically helped increase Holiday Inn's popularity. But anyways, with all that being said, I think I'm going to end off this video. If you guys haven't enjoyed this video, please make sure to the like button, and also don't forget to subscribe, because I try and do videos every single day. And also don't forget to subscribe and ring the notification bell on my other two channels as well, including Exotic Dan Walkthroughs, where I do walkthrough videos for you guys, and Dan's Place, where I upload the RMVs with the swearing in them, and some exclusive content on there for you guys as well. And until then, I will see you guys in the next one. Goodbye!